In Ashland, veterans and their families were welcomed into the Strategic Air Command and Aerospace Museum after a ceremony earlier in the morning honoring those who have served no matter how long or where. Military veterans, active personnel, and their families enjoyed the museum. Staff Sergeant Cody Meyer, who is currently stationed at Offutt, also offered a message of support for many who struggle after serving.
Suicide has become such a prevalent thing in our military culture, so I urged people to utilize Veterans Day to reach out to your veterans, ask how they're doing, tell them that you've been thinking about them, to show that everyone that you're not alone, because loneliness is typically that reason that we find ourselves at that decision. And since 9/11, we've lost more people to suicide in the military than we lost in combat, and we need to recognize that.
Strategic Air Command and Aerospace Museum is just off I-80 near Mahoney State Park. Their next scheduled event is Breakfast with an Astronaut on November 18th. Omaha native and former astronaut Clayton Anderson will be there signing autographs and much more.